Hello, it's Jackie here, Jackie Stamping Dreams. I'm a UK demonstrator on the Norfolk-Suffolk border. Welcome to my presentation on the Global Inspiration Stamp Team event. I caught a little bit of Katie's demonstration. It was really good. I need to go back and watch it in full because I was preparing for my presentation, but I did catch the tip where she was using the parcel tape to give a glassy effect, and that was just awesome. So looking forward to looking back and seeing that in full. Anyway, thank you for joining me. I hope everyone's okay. I'm just checking to see that I'm in the right group, and I am. So let me put you down on to my desk, and I'll show you what I'm going to be using. Okay, so we should be back on the desk. So yes, so we're going to be using the retired colours. Now, I don't know about you, but sometimes when the new Incolors come out, it takes me a long time to get used to them, and it's normally when they're about to retire that I think, actually, I really do like those. So I am sad to be seeing these lovely colours go. Yeah, especially the pinks. I just love my pinks. Anyway, I'm going to be using the Woolly Friends. Love this stamp set, and it comes with a coordinating punch. I've only just got it, and this is the first chance that I've had a go at using it. I've been very busy. I've had a crafternoon tea, which I co-hosted with Sandra, and then we were jetting off to Germany, Cologne, for our Stampin' Up on Stage event. So I was prepping cards for that, so we can swap. And so yeah, so this got a bit neglected until, dare I say, this morning. So it's a bit of a panic trying to decide what I was going to do, but anyway, I've come up with something. So we've got some lovely Eastery, baby-y, and just happy, fun sentiments in this set. And we've got the cute little sheep there, and you can sort of have him doing all sorts of things. So let me show you the card that I'm going to be showing you how to do. So this is a fancy fold, and but I've seen a card where you put a corner on it, so you can just like tuck it in like so when you're posting it, and then you can have it undone when you're when you have it up and displayed. So yeah, so I've coloured in the butterflies, and I've done some stamping and colouring in of the sheep, and I've used a die from Lovely Arrangements, and I just love this circle die, background die, and so I've used the Floral in Blooms DSP, and that just sort of gave me grass vibes. And this has actually got the I think it's the Shamrock in here as the in colour base, or not base, but it's in there, so that's why I chose it. And then if you open it up, I've done some stamping of the flowers. The butterflies I did because I noticed there was a couple of marks on my card, but you know, you can just get a stamp and stamp over it, and no one will know until you tell them. So that is my card. I'm also going to be using something that is coming up in the new mini catalogue, and that's the new positioner. Now, I do love my Stamparatus, and I did feel very guilty at using this, or buying it, should I say. But actually, I'm really liking it because it the platform doesn't rest on your work, you can move your card around before you actually press down and stamp. And I just love that, because sometimes with the Stamparatus or with a hinged platform, you don't know whether you're going in the right place until you've actually committed and put that flap down, you know, your plate down. So yeah, I won't get rid of my Stamparatus, but I am loving the new platform, so I thought I would showcase this with you as well. So what I did was, with my stamps, I punched a template. Now I'm not quite sure what I've done with it, but if I grab a piece of card and you just punch, okay, and then you can insert your, lay your stamps in there, and then you can put them onto your block or your positioner, and then you'll be able to punch and stamp at the same time, or should I say stamp and punch at the same time. Okay, so I've already put my the face, the outline of the sheep, the bell and the bow already on there. So what we need to do is get some basic white card. Now I do have measurements, but I thought if we do some stamping first whilst I've got the positioner here, then we can get on to making the actual base card, etc. So I'm going to place my card down. Now we've got these lovely magnets. They do have their own little protective case on there, or cover, and you're needing to use the one that's got the magnet that's exposed the most. And then you can just put those down. And unlike the strong magnets, if you do get them together, you can prise them apart. Now I've positioned my card quite a way up from where I know that I'm going to punch, and I can see that before I've done anything. So I'm just going to move my card up slightly. Could go up a little bit more. There you go. So I'm going to use my Memento Black. I hope the tapping's not making too much noise. And then you need to make sure that your Stampin' Up logo is at the bottom, and then you just press down like so, and you've got a lovely image. So that's that one. So that's with the big plate. Now if I bring along the smaller plate, and this is the one that's going to move across your poles. We also do the grid paper where they've already got holes in, and they just slot onto these little pegs, and it is double-sided as well. So I'm going to bring in my base card, my insert, and I see, look, I've got black ink over there already. I did with my my sample card, and I will show you this before I stamp it down. I positioned it in, and I just made a mark where that triangle was. See, I'm all of a fluster. I should have done that first, because then that would make sense, wouldn't it? So I'm going to put my insert up there, and I've got it upside down, if that makes sense, and I'm going to go off the paper, and then I'm going to stamp. So you just need to put a little bit of ink on there. Just may come straight and then just go down. Just need to do that again because I haven't got that completely there. And again, because this plate can move, you can see and line up. That has made it a little bit dark, but it doesn't matter. And then we just move it along, and I don't mind if that overlaps, because we're going to be doing two-step stamping, and you just move it along. Oops. So I've got ink on the plate already, but that's not going to go down onto my work. The only ink that's going to go down onto my work is whatever I've got on my fingers. As I say, I have been playing today, and you're just pressing down. I just love it. It does get time to get used to. So if you were lucky enough to get this as a joining offer, tell me what you, or even as a demonstrator, tell me how you're finding it. Do you love it as well? And I've gone over that mark because I've been talking, but it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter at all. Normally you would stop, but I'm multitasking, so it's a bit of a I bet you're all crying at me. Stop, don't move anymore. So I'm going to take my flower stamp off and put that on there, and then I'm going to retrieve the leaves. Let's just move that down like so. So we've got to stamp off slightly. Right, okay. Have I got these upside down? Right, bear with. This seemed to be like a good idea at the time. So that one goes like that. There you go. It's because I went off the page. So you're just sort of lining that up on over your flower, or your leaves, should I say. And then you're just going to pick that up. And then I'm going to use, now what colour did I use before? I'm going to use the Shy Shamrock. Now I've got to be a bit careful here because these foam ink pads are very, very juicy. So I'm just going to manoeuvre that and then go down. Okay, so try not to get your legs in there. And then again, I can sort of let go, and I'm going to go down again. And this is what I like. You don't have to commit until you're happy. So we're just putting it over the pegs and going down. And again. And you just keep going along until you're finished. Then I'm going to take that one off, and then I'm going to go in with the flower. So put that on like so. So again, you're just looking over. I mean, obviously you can spend more time on this. I'm just going to wipe my plate. That can go down. Now, in my card, oops, I used all the pinks and the yellows, but I think for quickness, I'm just going to use one colour. I think I'm going to use the Tuna Pop, because I do like, oh, actually, that might be a bit dark. I'm going to go for the Pretty in Pink. So again, just putting that there and going down. Oops. And then just going, lining it up, going down. I mean, as I say, you can spend your time lining those flowers up onto your, over your stamp. And what would be good working with this as well is your ink spots. Okay. And there's your flowers done there. So we can put that to one side. And I think I've finished with the plate for now. So I'm going to put that down. So I'm going to bring back our little sheep, and then you just need to use, you know, you can use blends, but I haven't got any of the Incolor blends, so you can actually either use your water brush or your blend pens. We use those on stage, and I haven't used my blend, you know, like the silicone one, which you can use with your pencils and your pastels, and they work really well. And I've got to order some new ones because mine have mine are on their last legs. I think I've left them to dry out a bit too much. So just adding some features to the sheep. Now if you wanted to, you could leave him or her that colour. Now what else did I have? Right, there's a little tufty bit. I'm gonna do that in, I haven't got my, don't think I've got my grey, oh yes I have. I had grey granite out for that. So we're just using a little bit of a tufty bit there. Again, you could colour it if you wanted to. And then I think I'm going to do him or her with the peach pie. Sort of have a little bit of a different colour. So here you have the body. Now I haven't got my stamp mat. The only thing with this is you've got to work out which way it goes round. And I did work it out, and I thought to myself, I'll make a mark on my block, and I forgot to do it. So I know that if I go down, it's going to be wrong. Oh my gosh, I should have done. And it's just, oh, you just think, oh yeah, that's it. Is that going to be it? Oh, do I commit? No, I can't. I might have to colour him in. So my tip is before you start stamping him, is to, oh, I'm going to go down, is to put a mark on your block. I don't think it really matters because he's a rustic sheep. So I've done that. I might do actually. See, I'm wafting here. So right, okay. I'm going, no, because that won't show up. I need to do that in pink. This is what happens when you change colour. You confuse yourself. Right, what did I use the bell on there, so I'm going to do the ribbon, so the ribbon can be in pink. There is a stamp that you can stamp with to fill this in, and for the bell, but it's quicker if I just use my ink. So then you can come in with your punch, and then you've virtually got that perfect. So you've got all your bits there, and I just love that you can stamp and punch all in one go. So I'm going to get some dimensionals to pop his face up. And then some Tombow just to, so that he can go like that. But you can do him any colour, you can leave it white if you want a traditional one. It's really up to you. There you go. And there's your sheep there. I have been given some wobbly thingies, so I'm going to try that to make his face wobble. So I'm going to put that to one side. So now we can start doing some cutting. So we've got our insert, we've got our sheep. So now we need to start cutting. So I'm going to bring in my paper trimmer. And you need your card just in half lengthways. Now obviously this is metric. Oops. So I need to cut that in half at 10.5 centimetres. Then I'm going to score that in half, which is 15.85 centimetres. And then I need to cut at 21.85 centimetres. So 21.85. Okay. So then that gives you your base card there. So that's the base card, so that can be put in. So then we need a panel which is 10.5 by 7 centimetres. Actually, so 10.5 by 7. We need a piece of card which is white panel, 10 by 6.5. 10 by 6.5. So that's that bit there. We need a piece for the triangle, which is 5.5. Don't worry, all this will be in the PDF. So 5.5. And then we want to cut that diagonally. So that's that. Then we need our DSP. Now, when I did the card, you can see that my triangle is going in the opposite direction to my flap card. So I'm going to try and do this so it's the right way. So the DSP, did I do it? 10 by... 10.6, so that should be 6.5 that way. And then 10 this way, I think. Yep, so that gives me horizontal pattern there. And then for the triangle again, so that's 5 by 5. And then again, that is cut diagonally. So that's all those bits done. And then lastly, what I need to do is, if I bring all that together, I need to bring in my mini cut machine, because I need to cut my circles. I hope you're bearing up with me and haven't gone to sleep. Right, so I'm just going to put this in. As I say, I love this die. And then just roll that through. So, in the comments, I've got a bit of squeak there. In the comments, I would like to know which is your favourite out of the retiring colours. What are you going to miss the most? So just need to poke these, and these little bits you can if you keep, you can glue as inserts with a corresponding card, which is quite nice. So just put that on there. So there is my circles, and obviously I've got to cut. So I'm going to bring back my trimmer, and then I'm just going to hopefully cut that. Ooh. Like so. And we'll need to cut that because that actually isn't long enough for the piece of paper. So if we bring this all back, and then we can start gluing. Now, I love this piece of paper. Why do they do that? They put two of the best designs together. So I was very reluctant to cut into this paper because I love the other side, but this was the only bit of in colour that I could use. I think I had something from the paper stack, but I think that was the first year that it came out. See, look, I've got colour all over. Look at my hands. It's from my hands, unfortunately. And then this triangle just gets glued on. Just do the edges because we want that to tuck in. So just the two edges. And then that can go like that. And then your triangle can go on. Obviously, I can't see your comments at the moment, so I will respond to any comments when I've finished. But if you've got any questions, then, you know, do please ask. Now, do you think that looks better, or do you prefer the contrast? That's a question for you. Put your answers in the comments. Now, as I say, this isn't the same length. You could cut up the other one and do the same, but you might not get exactly the same. So I'm going to cut that there, and then you can glue them like that, and then put your sheep over the join. So then that just goes in like so. Okay. And then he can go. Oh, something I haven't done. I did on my original, I did do some blue on there. So let's just do that before I stick the sheep down. So I've just got some balmy blue. And just doing a bit of a sky effect, just so that it's not too white. Like so. And then we can glue the sheep down. Oops. Like that. And then if you wanted to, you could get this beautiful little butterfly, and you can have him swirling around. My daughter saved a beautiful butterfly a couple of days ago from the local cat, and it just allowed her to pick it up on a flat in her hand. It was lovely. And then we can colour that in. Just to give a bit of extra colour. And then that can be glued on to your panel. Like that. So with this panel, you need to just sort of tuck that in, so you only need to put the glue on the back of the left hand side. You don't want the glue going all the way down, otherwise you're going to stick it down onto your card and then you won't be able to get it open. So if you just tuck it in, then it's up to you whether you want to have some of the flowers showing or all the flowers showing. Let's put it like that. I think I stamped lower this time than on my original. Okay, so that is the bulk of the card done. So now we just need to do the sentiment, and I really loved this one. You're simply fabulous. So is that, oh no, that's the wrong one. So I'm just going to put that on a block. Oh, actually, what I could do, if I bring this back, you know, sometimes you get a thin bit of card and you want to stamp a sentiment on it. This is fabulous. All you need to do is line up your stamp. So I've not picked it up yet, so I can maneuver this around if I wanted to. So if you line your stamp up and you had a strip of paper, suppose I haven't got a strip to show you now. Let's just cut this one down a bit so I can show you what I mean. Back. So if it was just a single, well, even with that, you can hover over your strip of paper. You know, sometimes that when you go to stamp on a thin strip of paper and when you're taking it away, it's not straight. I just think this is fantastic. So you can maneuver it up and down. So yes, so look out for the new catalogue in May. 5th of May, I think it comes out. So we can go down. And then I use the triple banner punch. Love this. But I always seem to use the middle one because I like the double-ended flag. Okay. And then that can go on there with the dimensionals. Like so. And then lastly, I've got the lovely flat pearls. So just taking my Take Your Pick tool, and I'm going to use the Pretty in Pink. And there are my 2 finished cards. I hope I've inspired you with this lovely set. Now I just want to show you a couple of other cards that I've made. So I've got this one here, which is a faux pop-up card. Okay, I nearly made this one as my demonstration. Okay, and then again I've just gone round with the brush, but you know, and I've torn the paper there. And then to really showcase all the colours, I decided to do a sheep in every colour, but I didn't get time to do the sentiment, so I'll think about that as to what I'm going to do. But again, that's sort of showcasing all the colours together. As I say, I went to on stage in Cologne where we did some swaps, and I just wanted to show you a couple of things that I got with this set. So I've got this beautiful, it's like an origami pouch, and that's from my lovely Irish friend Nicola Carson. So what she's done is she's used the blend pens, I think, to colour the body in. And then I got this little box here. So just a plain little sheep, simple box. And inside there is some chocolate. And that's from Danielle Heren. I think she is possibly a European demonstrator. So anyway, they are my samples to show you. Next up is Leanne, I think. I had it written down. I'm pretty sure it's Leanne who's following me at UK time 5 o'clock, so up on the hour. Don't forget, if you've got any questions, please, or would like to place an order, please seek out the demonstrator that invited you to this event. As already said, you can find links in the album to come back if you wanted to look at these videos again, and then obviously the PDF will have all the links to the YouTube channels when they go live. All that's left for me to say is thank you for joining me. Enjoy the rest of the event, and I look forward to crafting with you again soon. Take care. Bye.